Hello and good afternoon. This is Abby Patterson with PCA Iowa, and this is the makeup session for the Protective Factors Survey information, specifically going over how to input the field-tested survey, this, into the Excel worksheet that we're going to be sending on a monthly basis to Kansas. Actually, for all of the sites, I would like to receive those on a monthly basis by the 10th of the month, and then I can forward them on to Mallory at Kansas. This session is being recorded. Everybody should have in front of them, this was sent out with the original invite, a copy of like a mock-up of the field test. And then I'm going to share my screen. Try to figure out, there we go. Everybody should also have received a copy of this PFS-2 data collection spreadsheet. This is the document that everybody will be using to input their information from their paper surveys. When using this, there are 3 different tabs. There's a clarifications, which I'm going to click on, and that goes through how to code everything into this document. And then there's the pre-post PFS-2 and the retrospective. Since we're using the retrospective, we want to make sure that that's the tab that everybody's on. Otherwise, you're going to run into some problems when you're trying to input your information. So I'm going to go ahead and just enter the information right from the paper survey onto this worksheet, along with, on the original invite for this training was attached an Excel sheet that's called copy of RCCC programs. I'm going to pull that up as well and make sure that I am sharing my screen. And you should be able to see all of the different programs, including if there is a crisis and a respite for the same county. And there should be contract numbers in column C to go through what all of the contracts are. The agency ID is what you're going to use is in the top left corner. All the programs have one, and it's IARC for Iowa Respite Care. And then the contract number, whatever the 16- contract number is, and then there will be a C for crisis or an R for respite or both, depending on if you have both services. Columns E through N are just going through how to identify your participants. So for contract 113, it'll start 113-0001. The next participant will be 113-0002, 113-0003, and so on. We wanted to make sure, we didn't want any identifying information, but we did want to make sure that the participants were going to be kind of individualized and also not repeat numbers, and have everybody have kind of a simple way to figure out how you're going to give everybody a different participant ID. Okay, so I'm going to toggle back to okay, just a moment. Share screen. Okay, back to the PFS data collection tool. So if you look at the mock-up that I have made, the agency ID I have input is IARC 122R. Participant ID is 122-0001. Date survey completed was 9/13/17. Program start date was 5/1/17. We're going to leave the program completion date blank because the person has not discharged. And then going down to question number 1, how was the survey completed? You can either put face-to-face interview by the participant with assistance from program staff or by the participant without. I had marked B, so we'll put with staff. And then has this participant been reported to Child Protective Services? You know, we marked no. This question number 3 is not applicable since they were not reported to Child Protective Services. And then for questions 4, we will only respond, the only answer here is yes. So it's either left blank or yes. So since we checked box N for planned and or crisis respite, we're just gonna go over to, I'm just gonna tab over to column V, which is the participant receiving the following service, planned and or crisis respite, and I will identify yes, that one they are receiving. All the other ones I am leaving blank. And then we'll tab over for question 5. Participants' attendance at pretest, that we had offered them 72 hours, and their attendance at post-test was they participated in 48 hours. All right, I'm going to toggle over a little bit so I can kind of see everything. So Mallory did want to make sure she was going to send out a new survey and want to make sure everybody got that, because this first page is information that the program coordinator or program management, somebody other than the family is going to fill out. We want to have page 2 be a blank page, and then this is just a tear off page that the family will not be participating in filling out. They are going to start at the protective factor survey. Once again, we have, I'll show you the top of what is page 2 and what I sent out, but there will be a page 1, a blank, and then this will be the third actual page. We want to make sure that the agency ID and the participant ID are matching up, especially if we're going to tear that first page off. And then we will go ahead and get started on all of our questions. So for question number 1, I have friends on social media and online that I can rely on for support. There's a before and a now. So question, column AB is question 1B for before. The next one is going to be question 1N for now. So both of those, they answered an E. And so you'll just put an E, the letter of the answer that's on the worksheet. It doesn't matter if it's uppercase or lowercase. Moving to question 2, people who like and believe in me. Before was a C, and now we've got a D. Question 3, for before we had a C, and now we have a D. Question 4B is a C, for a C for 4B and 4N. And then we go down to question 5, needing someone to look after my kids. Before I was a B and now I'm a D. So that is the first page of the PFS-2, just entering in the letter of the response. And then if we go to question 6, it's a check, all or none of the boxes that apply to you. So I have people I trust to ask for advice about. What we're going to do for these is enter the number of boxes checked. If they say none, which is the last response F, we're just going to put 0. So I had filled out before 4 different selections, and then the now I had filled out 5. And then question 7 is the same question, I have people I can trust to ask for advice about. The before was 3, so I'm going to enter 3 for that one, and it's 4 for the question as it pertains to now. So you'll just enter for question 6 and 7 the number of boxes checked. If they check none of the above, that's going to be a 0. All right, and we'll toggle over to question 8. that one we're going to go back to writing in the letter of the response. So I had put 8, C for before, and then D for now. And then 9 was C for before, and D for now. And question 10 was D for before, and E for now. And then that's the end of that page. We'll flip over to question 11, which I had put for both before and now a response of D. Question 12, I had put a response of B. Question 13, I had put a D for before and a C for now. Question 14, I had to put a D for before and a C for now. Question 15, for both before and now, I had put a C. And then, get these back in the, you can see a little bit better here. Question 16, I had put a C for before. And here it comes up from the row 1. It'll auto-populate for the caregiver-practitioner relationship. I believe this is the only place that it does that, but if you have any that come up like that, you can just put a space in, and that'll get rid of that auto-populate. Okay, so for 16B, we've got a C for before and an A for now. And then that's the end of that page. We'll go ahead to question 17. We had a D for before and an E for now. Question 18, before was a C, and question 18 now is a D. And then for question 19, again, we're just going to put the letter of the response. So that one was a C. Oh, we did have an auto-populate, so I'll put a space in there. That'll correct it. Question 20, we have a D. Question 21, I had put a C. And question 22, I had put a C as well. All right. Moving over to questions 23 and 24, we don't have a before and an after on these questions, but like question 6 and 7, we're going to enter in the number of boxes that are checked. If they check H, none of the above, we're going to put that in as a 0 as well. These are reverse coded, but this worksheet is going to automatically calculate and factor in that reverse coding. So Mallory's online training talked about that. Don't pay attention to this, just put in the number of boxes checked. This worksheet has been formulated to kind of make things hopefully as easy as possible for folks. So for question 23, I had marked 3 different boxes. And for question 24, it also marked 3 different boxes. Okay, I'm going to toggle over a little bit here and get to the demographics section on the back page. So for these demographic questions, there's a little drop down you'll click, and I had hit female, and I had hit, you'll enter in the number for age, 29, because I did turn 29 again this year. And then for 27, for race and ethnicity, it's going to be similar to when we had the programs at the start of the worksheet, where you'll just mark yes if they identify. So they can identify as many race and ethnicity categories as they want to. I had identified on this one white, so I will mark that one. Everything else just stays blank. And then marital status, I had marked married. Family housing, again, it's a drop down, so I had put rent. Total family income, I had put 30 to 40. Highest level of education, I had marked trade and vocational, so that one's going to be one of the choices. And then on question 32, move this over so everybody can see. there is, again, where you will just mark yes if people identify. So like, yep, we had food assistance, earned income tax credit, and then E was early Head Start services. We mark yes for that one. The rest of them stay blank. Okay, so that's the end of that page. We get to the last page, which is the information about the children. All right, so let's move over a little bit. Gender of the child 1, we had put male, and mom is birth parent. Gender of child 2 is female, and mom had identified she was birth parent. Gender of child 3 was also female, and mom identified that she was birth parent. No other children. It asks for date of birth, but we don't have that in here anywhere. It's not missing. That was intentional to make sure we're not providing anything that could be considered identifying information. So once you tab over, if you move the bottom bar, you'll be able to see line 6. Here's all of our subscales, protective factor scores. So the before mean score or average score, and then the after for the different components. There's not a before and after for the concrete supports. They're just going to measure the point in time where people are at for concrete supports. That is it for, I guess, entering this information. Since this is the makeup, nobody's actually on the call live, so I am recording this. I will be posting it. If people have questions, they can definitely give me a call. If we can be able to look at this together as we go through questions, that will be helpful. But Mallory indicated she was also available for questions as well. I believe that's all of the information I had planned to go over and all of the different forms. So thanks. Let me know if you have questions. And I think that's it. Let me stop recording.